Washburn University has a long and storied past of which today's students should be proud.
From its founding on the heels of the Civil War to the 1966 tornado to the 21st century institution it is today, Washburn University is resilient, determined, well-established, and standing the test of time.
Washburn is founded as Lincoln College, a private congregational school, on February 6, 1865. A group of church members had been trying since 1857 to get a college established, but various obstacles in the Civil War hampered their efforts.
During the summer and fall of 1865, Harvey Rice, church member and Lincoln College trustee, supervised the construction of a two-story building on lots donated by John Ritchie, a local land developer, abolitionist, philanthropist, and Lincoln College trustee.
The new college was located on the corner of 10th and Jackson Streets in downtown Topeka. The front door faced west and had a good view of the state capitol under construction.
Since few young people had a high school education at that time, the founders decided to offer a 3-year high school curriculum in addition to the college curriculum. Classes began January 3, 1866, with 38 high school students enrolled, including one African American.
The stage was set and the first 2 college students enrolled in Lincoln College in the fall of 1866.
We, the undersigned, desirous of becoming a body corporate and politic, by the name and title of Trustees of Lincoln College, to associate ourselves together for the purposes set forth in the preamble.
To establish at or near the city of Topeka, the capital of Kansas, and secure the incorporation of an institution of learning of a high literary and religious character, to be named Lincoln College, which shall commemorate the triumph of liberty
to afford
over
to all
slavery.
classes, without distinction of color, the advantages of a liberal education, thus fitting them for positions of responsibility and usefulness.
The economy right after the Civil War was not conducive to raising large amounts of money, so the fledgling college struggled to keep its doors open. The board appointed Reverend Horatio Q. Butterfield, professor of Latin and Greek, to be their field agent fundraiser in order to solicit money to help with expenses and to create an endowment to put the college on more secure financial footing. In the fall of 1868, Reverend Butterfield traveled to New England, home of many congregational churches. Someone recommended that he visit Ichabod Washburn of Worcester, Massachusetts, a wealthy and philanthropic businessman who made his fortune in the wire industry. His business, Washburn and Moen Manufacturing Company, later merged with other companies to become U.S. Steel. Mr. Washburn had retired by 1868 and was not in good health, but upon hearing about the college in Kansas that was educating women and African Americans, causes that he supported, he gave $25,000. In gratitude for this gift, the Board of Trustees voted on November 19, 1868, to change the school's name to Washburn College. Mr. Washburn never saw the college he rescued. He died a little over a month later on December 30th, 1868. Because of his success in fundraising, Reverend Butterfield was appointed the first president of Washburn College in 1869. In spite of adversity, this was a time of growth for Topeka. The railroads started moving westward and established a presence in the city. The city, founded in 1854, was poised for expansion, and it needed the promise of a local educational institution like Washburn College to support the social and business needs of the community.
In addition to the lots at 10th and Jackson, John Ritchie also gave the present campus of 160 acres to the college for a permanent location. Under the leadership of the second president, Peter McVicker, the college sold the Jackson Street building to the city of Topeka in 1872 and began construction of a larger building, again supervised by Harvey Rice, on their property, which was 1.5 miles southwest of the city limits at that time. They rented space in downtown buildings for classes until it was completed in 1874. The main building, later named Rice Hall, stood by itself on an open prairie that was of higher elevation than the city proper, so the area as it developed was called College Hill. Other buildings soon followed: the Boswell Library in 1886, Holbrook Hall that same year, a large women's dormitory, and McVicker Chapel, built in 1890. It's a little-known fact that in the latter part of the 19th century and the early 20th century, many of the professors, some of the trustees, and several presidents had degrees from Yale University. Washburn officially adopted Yale blue for its own color in the early 1900s. Even before that, student publications referred to the athletic teams as wearers of the blue. Yale students were called Elis after benefactor Elihu Yale. And by 1904, Washburn students began to call themselves sons and daughters of Ichabod, and eventually just Ichabods.
Baseball was the first intercollegiate sport played by Washburn beginning in 1879. We played 2 games with KU that year.
Football began in 1891. The first forward pass ever recorded was thrown in a game between Washburn and Fairmont College, now Wichita State University.
Track began in 1903 and was offered through the 1950s.
Basketball was first organized by women in 1901, playing such teams as Emporia, Fairmont, and Topeka High.
Men's basketball started with the 1905-1906 team.
As early as 1885, a student newspaper was being published.
Early forerunners of the Washburn Review were the Washburn Argo, the Washburn Reporter, the Argo Reporter, and the Washburn Mid-Continent.
In the first campus yearbook, the Helianthus was published in 1895. The call started in 1904.
At the turn of the century, Washburn was well established and ready to grow. A medical school in downtown Topeka was affiliated with the college for about 10 years, from 1902 through 1913. The law school opened in 1903, and a downtown art school merged with Washburn in 1904.
The first fraternity, Delta Phi, in 1903 became Phi Delta Theta by 1910, and the first 2 sororities also began in 1903. Sigma Delta Psi later became Kappa Alpha Theta, and Beta sorority later became Alpha Phi.
Enrollment had increased to more than 700 students, and a flurry of building activity started. The Crane Observatory and the President's Home in 1903, the Carnegie Library in 1905, now the oldest building on campus, and the Thomas Gymnasium in 1909. The bells from its tower still ring in the Keeney Bell Tower.
Of course, Lincoln College in its transition to Washburn University would not have been complete without the writing of our alma mater by students Lucy Platt Harshbarger and Francis George Johnson in the 1890s.
Washburn, Washburn, we love thee well. Ours is the joy thy praise to swell. With voices free, we'll sing of thee, and ever thy praise will tell.
The story of Washburn in its first 50 years includes a number of important philanthropic figures: John Ritchie, Harvey Rice, Ichabod Washburn, Peter McVicker, and others.
The story also includes contributions by hundreds of faculty and thousands of students. And from its early beginnings until now, Washburn has educated and served the Topeka community and the people of Kansas.
Non nobis solum.
Non nobis
Solum.
Non nobis solum.
Not for
Ourselves alone.